Hello everyone. Comment down below what time you're watching this video and where you're watching it from. And don't forget to leave a rating, it really helps me improve. Now, let's dive in. 1. Early life and education of Nikola Tesla. Might imagine young Nikola Tesla as a boy with a mind like a storm full of lightning, flashes of curiosity that never seemed too quiet. Born in 1856 in a small village nestled in the mountains of what is now Croatia, he was shaped by the quiet hum of nature and the sharp intellect of his priest, father, and inventive mother, who crafted household tools as if weaving solutions from thin air. Even as a child, he saw the world differently, visualizing his ideas with such vivid clarity that they felt as real as the pages of the books he devoured. His education was a winding path from the local schoolrooms where his brilliance shone, to the Polytechnic Institute in Graz, where the whir of electrical machines first sparked his lifelong fascination. But formal learning couldn't contain him. His mind raced ahead, chasing theories like a traveler following a distant light. Though he faced setbacks, including illness and financial struggles, his early years were like the slow, steady charging of a battery gathering the energy that would one day power his revolutionary ideas. And in those quiet moments of study and solitude, the seeds of his genius took root, growing toward a future he could already see in his mind's eye. To Tesla's contributions to alternating current AC, you might find yourself wondering how something as invisible as electricity could shape the world so profoundly. And in that curiosity, you encountered the story of Nikola Tesla. Picture him as a quiet architect of the unseen, a man who saw beyond the flicker of candlelight and imagined a world powered by something far greater. Tesla's work on alternating current, or AC, was like opening a door to a room we didn't even know existed, a room where energy could flow effortlessly over vast distances, like water through a network of rivers. Before AC, electricity was clumsy and limited, like trying to light a city with a single, fragile flame. But Tesla's vision changed everything. He saw that by making the current alternate swinging back and forth like a pendulum, it could travel farther, more efficiently, and with less loss. This was the spark that illuminated cities, powered industries, and brought the modern world to life. Tesla didn't just invent, he reimagined what was possible, quietly guiding humanity into a brighter future. And when you flip a switch today, it's his invisible hand that allows the light to come on, steady and sure. A reminder of how one person's dream can light up the world. 3. The Tesla coil design and function. You might imagine the Tesla coil as a kind of musical instrument for electricity, humming and singing with invisible energy. At its heart, it's a dance between two coils, one tightly wound, like a spring ready to uncoil, and the other tall and loose, like a tree reaching for the sky. When electricity flows into the first coil, it builds up like a held breath, until suddenly it leaps across to the second, sending waves of energy spiraling upward in a cascade of sparks. These flickering arcs are more than just spectacle. They're the coil's way of whispering secrets about how energy moves through the world, untamed yet elegant. Think of it like a bridge between the ordinary electricity in your home and the raw, untethered power of lightning, both fierce and beautiful, but here, contained in a fragile, human-made balance. It's a reminder that even the wildest forces can be coaxed into harmony, if only for a moment. And as you watch those luminous tendrils curl into the air, you might feel, just briefly, as though you've glimpsed something timeless. For Tesla's work on wireless communication, you might find it fascinating to think about how Tesla envisioned a world where communication flowed effortlessly through the air, like a gentle breeze carrying whispers across a vast field. Long before Wi-Fi or smartphones, Nikola Tesla dreamed of a future where information could travel without wires, connecting people in ways that seemed almost magical. He imagined a global network where energy and messages could be transmitted instantly, bridging distances as if they didn't exist. It's like picturing a symphony where every instrument plays in harmony without a single string or wire connecting them. Pure, seamless unity. Tesla's experiments with wireless communication weren't just about technology. They were about a deeper vision of human connection, a belief that the invisible forces around us could bring us closer together. Even though his grand vision wasn't fully realized in his lifetime, his ideas planted seeds that continue to grow in the technologies we use every day. When you scroll through your phone or connect to the internet, you're walking in the footsteps of someone who saw the unseen and believed in the impossible. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? That even in the chaos of the modern world, there's still a thread of his quiet, hopeful dream woven into the fabric of our lives. 5. The War of Currents. Tesla versus Edison. You might imagine the late 19th century as a time of flickering lanterns and shadowed streets, where the world was on the cusp of something brilliant. It was here, in this twilight of invention, that two minds, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, clashed over how electricity should light up the world. Edison championed direct current DC, a steady, unyielding flow like a river moving in one unwavering direction. Tesla, on the other hand, saw the future in alternating current AC, a more dynamic and adaptable force, like the ebb and flow of the ocean tides. Their rivalry wasn't just about wires and currents. It was a battle of philosophize. Edison, the practical tinkerer, rooted in what he could see and touch, and Tesla, the visionary dreamer, reaching for what could be. In the end, it wasn't just about who won, but how their struggle shaped the modern world. You could say it's a reminder that progress often comes from the tension between different ways of thinking, like two streams converging to form a greater river. And while the lights above us now hum with Tesla's AC, there's a quiet beauty in knowing that both men, in their own way, helped illuminate the path forward. 6. Tesla's inventions in electrical engineering. You might not realize it, but the world around you hums with the legacy of Nikola Tesla, a man whose inventions quietly shaped the way we live today. Picture the electric currents flowing through your home, lighting up rooms and powering devices. This invisible dance of energy is rooted in Tesla's groundbreaking work. He harnessed electricity in a way that felt almost like taming a wild river, guiding it to flow smoothly and efficiently. Imagine the alternating current AC system, one of his most profound contributions, as a gentle wave that travels far and wide, reaching distant places with ease, unlike its rigid predecessor, direct current DC. Tesla's vision was vast, like a dreamer sketching the future in the air, yet his innovations were grounded in practical, life-changing applications. From the motors in your appliances to the wireless technologies we now take for granted, his ideas are woven into the fabric of modern life. Tesla's brilliance was not just in creating devices, but in envisioning a world where electricity could be a universal force, accessible to all. As you sit here, surrounded by the quiet glow of technology, remember that it was his quiet genius that made it possible. 7. The Tesla turbine. Principles and applications. You might not expect something as simple as a stack of smooth, closely spaced disks to hold the secret to efficient energy, but that's exactly what Nikola Tesla envisioned with his ingenious turbine. Imagine those discs spinning like a whirlpool of liquid, their surfaces guiding air or steam in a gentle, spiraling flow. No clunky blades, no violent chopping, just a smooth, almost silent dance of fluid and motion. It's a design that feels more like nature's way than the rough mechanics of traditional turbines, harnessing energy with the quiet grace of a leaf riding the wind. While it never quite replaced the machines we're used to, the Tesla turbine whispers possibilities: compact power for small devices, gentle pumps for delicate fluids, or even a role in renewable energy systems where simplicity and reliability matter most. It's a reminder that sometimes the most elegant solutions are hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to shine. And who knows, perhaps one day, when we're ready to listen, this quiet invention will find its perfect place in the world. 8. Tesla's experiments with high-frequency currents. You might picture Tesla in his lab, a solitary figure surrounded by flashing sparks and humming machines, as if he were orchestrating a symphony of invisible energy. His experiments with high-frequency currents were like peeling back the veil of ordinary electricity, revealing something far more mysterious and alive. Imagine a river calm and steady now. Imagine that same river suddenly transformed into a series of rapid, shimmering ripples. Tesla's work was akin to discovering how to make the water dance, harnessing something unseen yet deeply powerful. He wasn't just tinkering with wires and coils. He was exploring the pulse of the universe itself, finding ways to make energy resonate in ways no one had thought possible. It's as if he unlocked a secret language, one where electricity could leap across gaps without wires, illuminate bulbs without connections, and even heal or invigorate living beings. Yet, for all its brilliance, his vision was gentle tidings of a future where energy could flow freely and beautifully, like light passing through a prism. His work reminds us that even in the most ordinary forces, there lies extraordinary possibility, waiting to be uncovered by a curious mind and a patient hand. 9. Tesla and the development of the induction motor. You might find yourself marveling at how something as seemingly ordinary as an electric motor could change the course of history. And yet, that's exactly what Tesla's induction motor did. Picture this: a world where machines were clumsy, inefficient, and tied to cumbersome belts and gears. Then, like a breath of fresh air, Tesla's invention arrived: a motor that ran smoothly, practically silently, and without the need for constant tinkering. It was elegant in its simplicity, like a dancer moving effortlessly across a stage. What made it special was its reliance on alternating current, which flowed like a gentle tide rather than the rigid push of direct current. This innovation didn't just power machines, it sparked a revolution, lighting up cities and driving industry forward in ways previously unimaginable. Tesla's induction motor was more than a technical achievement. It was a quiet promise of progress, a reminder that even the smallest ideas, when nurtured with care, could ripple out and touch countless lives. And as you think about it, you realize that sometimes the most profound changes come not with a bang, but with the soft hum of an idea quietly turning into reality. 10. Tesla's vision of wireless power transmission. You might have heard about Tesla's dream of wireless power transmission, a vision so vast and imaginative it almost feels like it belongs in a world of thought rather than reality. Picture this: electricity flowing through the air, invisible threads of energy connecting everything, like the way sunlight touches every surface without needing wires to guide it. Tesla saw a future where power wasn't bound by cables or confined to outlets, but moved freely, effortlessly, as natural as the wind. It's as if he wanted to turn the entire earth into a conductor, humming with energy, ready to light up homes, cities, and lives without interruption, while his vision hasn't fully materialized. It's a reminder of how ideas can stretch beyond what we think is possible, like seeds planted in the mind that grow into trees of innovation. Even today, as we charge our devices with cords or mats, we're stepping softly toward his dream, though we're still a long way from that seamless, wireless world. It's comforting, isn't it? Knowing that even if we can't see the full picture yet, someone like Tesla dared to imagine it, lighting a path for us to follow. One quiet discovery at a time. 11. Tesla's patents. Overview and impact. You might think of Tesla's patents as a garden of ideas, carefully planted and left open for others to wander through. In 2014, Elon Musk made the unexpected decision to share the company's patents with the world, like unlocking a gate and inviting everyone inside. It wasn't just a gesture of generosity, it was a quiet bet on the future. A belief that progress grows faster when knowledge flows freely. These patents, covering everything from battery technology to autonomous driving, became stepping stones for others, smoothing the path toward electric vehicles and renewable energy. Some wondered if this would weaken Tesla's edge, but instead, it seemed to lift the entire industry like a rising tide lifting all boats. The impact is subtle but profound. By removing barriers, Tesla didn't just advance its own vision, it helped shape a world where innovation isn't hoarded but shared, where competition and collaboration dance together. It's a reminder that sometimes the boldest moves aren't about claiming territory but sowing seeds for a forest others can enjoy. And in that quiet act of openness, Tesla left a legacy far greater than any single invention. 12. Tesla's work. On Tenray technology, you might not know this, but Nikola Tesla, the man behind so many of the electrical wonders we take for granted today, also dipped his hands into the enigmatic world of Imagine him, a quiet figure in his lab, surrounded by coils and sparks, turning his curious mind toward invisible rays that could reveal the hidden structures of the world. In the late 19th century, while others were also exploring this mysterious phenomenon, Tesla was experimenting with X-ray technology almost simultaneously with Wilhelm Röntgen, who is often credited with its discovery. Tesla's approach was intuitive, almost poetic. He saw these rays not just as scientific tools, but as windows into the unseen. He captured some of the earliest X-ray images, including one of his own hand, as if holding a conversation with the invisible. Yet, his work often went unrecognized, like a hidden thread in the tapestry of history. Tesla's fascination with X-rays was part of his broader vision to understand the unseen forces that shape our world. A reminder that sometimes the most profound discoveries come from simply asking, what else is there? It's a quiet, humbling thought, how much we've learned, and how much still waits to be uncovered. 13. Tesla's experiments with radio waves. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, surrounded by a delicate symphony of sparks and whispers, as he explored the unseen world of radio waves. Picture him as a kind of cosmic detective, patiently sifting through the invisible threads of energy that weave through the air. Tesla wasn't just fiddling with gadgets. He was reaching into the unknown, trying to understand how these waves could carry sound, messages, and even power across vast distances. Think of it like tuning into whispers from the universe, where every spark was a clue, every hum a secret waiting to be unlocked. He dreamed of a world where energy flowed freely, like water in a stream, connecting people and places without the tangle of wires. His experiments were less about cold, hard science, and more about uncovering the poetry of nature, the hidden rhythms that bind everything together. And though his visions sometimes outpaced the technology of his time, his work laid the groundwork for the wireless world we take for granted today. It's as if he planted seeds in a garden he'd never see, trusting that someday they would bloom into something extraordinary. So when you use your phone or tune into a radio station, remember Tesla's quiet persistence, his belief in the magic of what we cannot see but can surely feel. 14. The Tesla oscillator, theory and US. Sitting here, curious about this thing called the Tesla oscillator, aren't you? It's not something you stumble upon every day, but it's fascinating when you do. Imagine a device that hums quietly, almost like it's whispering secrets about the world around us. That's what it's like, a little machine designed by Nikola Tesla to explore the unseen forces of vibration and rhythm. Think of it as a conductor leading an orchestra of energy, each movement precise, each note intentional. The theory behind it is simple yet profound. Everything in the universe, from the tiniest atom to the vastness of the stars, moves in patterns like ripples on a calm lake. The oscillator taps into these patterns, harmonizing with them, showing us how connected everything truly is. It's not just a tool, it's a reminder that even the smallest vibrations can create waves of change. And while its uses range from engineering to medicine, its deeper lesson is this: there's a rhythm to life, a pulse beneath the surface, waiting to be felt. So, when you think about the Tesla oscillator, think of it as a bridge away to listen to the quiet music of the universe, one gentle hum at a time. 16. Tesla's concept of the world wireless system. You might imagine Nikola Tesla's idea of a world wireless system as a vast, invisible web stretching across the earth, connecting people and places in ways that felt almost magical for their time. He envisioned a world where energy and information could flow freely, like whispers carried on the wind, untethered by wires or boundaries. It wasn't just about sending messages, it was about creating a unified network, a shared heartbeat for humanity, where distance no longer mattered. To Tesla, this wasn't just a technological leap, it was a way to bring people closer, to dissolve the barriers that separated us. Think of it like a lighthouse, casting its beam across the ocean, guiding ships to safety. Only this light was invisible, a pulse of energy that could light up cities, power homes, and carry ideas across continents. His vision was grand, almost poetic, blending science with a deep sense of purpose. Today, as we tap into Wi-Fi and smartphones, we're living echoes of his dream, a world where connections are effortless and the impossible feels ordinary. Tesla's world wireless system reminds us that innovation is more than invention. It's about imagining a future where we're all a little more united, a little more understood. 17. Tesla's research on plasma and arc lighting. You might find yourself marveling at how Nikola Tesla's work feels like peering into the heart of a storm, electricity crackling, arcs of light dancing like fleeting whispers of energy. Tesla's research on plasma and arc lighting wasn't just about harnessing power, it was about understanding the poetry of electricity itself. Picture plasma as the fourth state of matter, a shimmering, almost magical substance that exists in the space between solid, liquid, and gas-like, capturing the glow of fireflies in a jar. Tesla saw this glow as a canvas, a medium through which he could paint with light. Arc lighting, with its intense, almost otherworldly brightness, became his brushstroke, illuminating cities and transforming darkness into day. His experiments were like a delicate dance, balancing the raw force of electricity with the elegance of control. And yet, what's truly inspiring is how Tesla's work wasn't just about the science, it was about wonder. He invited us to see electricity not as something utilitarian, but as something alive, pulsing with possibility. In his hands, the arc of light became a beacon, a reminder that even the most chaotic forces can be tamed into something beautiful. So when you think of Tesla, imagine him as a storyteller, weaving tales of light and energy, inviting you to dream alongside him. 18. Tesla's collaboration with George Westinghouse. You might not realize it, but some of the most profound moments in history happen when two minds come together, like two rivers merging to create something far greater than themselves. That's exactly what happened when Nikola Tesla, a visionary with a mind that seemed to dance with electricity, joined forces with George Westinghouse, a practical genius with a knack for turning ideas into reality. Their collaboration was more than just a partnership. It was a meeting of dreams and determination. Tesla's alternating current AC system was like a spark in the dark, a brilliant idea that needed the right hands to shape it into something the world could use. Westinghouse, with his resources and foresight, provided those hands. Together, they didn't just light up a few bulbs, they illuminated entire cities, changing the way we live forever. It's like they were the architects of a new dawn, building a bridge from the dim, flickering world of direct current to the steady, glowing promise of AC. Their story reminds us that even the grandest ideas need allies, and that progress is often born not in isolation, but in the quiet harmony of shared purpose. 19. Tesla's work on remote control technology. You might not immediately think of Tesla when it comes to remote control technology, but Nikola Tesla's work in this field was nothing short of visionary. Like planting seeds for a forest we now walk through every day. Imagine, back in the late 19th century, Tesla was already dreaming of controlling devices from a distance, almost as if he could reach out with invisible strings and pull the levers of the future. He demonstrated this with a small boat he called a teletomaton, which he could maneuver remotely using radio waves, something that seemed like magic at the time. It's fascinating how his mind worked, always seeing connections where others saw limits, like a painter blending colors no one else could see. This early exploration wasn't just about technology. It was about redefining how we interact with the world, giving us a glimpse of a future where distance could be bridged effortlessly. His ideas laid the groundwork for so much of what we take for granted today, from your TV remote to drones soaring through the skies. It's a reminder that even the wildest dreams, when nurtured with curiosity and persistence, can grow into something extraordinary, quietly shaping the way we live. 20. The Tesla electric car. Fact versus fiction. You might have heard whispers about Tesla's electric cars, some calling them the future, others dismissing them as overhyped gadgets, but let's step back and see them for what they really are. Imagine a car that glides almost silently, like a breeze through trees, leaving no trail of exhaust behind. That's the promise of a Tesla. Not just a vehicle, but a shift in how we think about moving through the world. The facts, they're impressively efficient, turning energy into motion with the grace of a well-tuned clock. And their range keeps growing, stretching farther each year like a road unspooling into the horizon. But the fiction, while they're not magic charging, still takes time, and they're not immune to the quirks of any machine. Yet there's something quietly revolutionary here, like the first flicker of a light bulb in a world used to candles. Whether you're drawn to the innovation or skeptical of the buzz, the truth lies somewhere in between. A step forward, not a leap, but one that feels steady and sure. Asterisk 21. Tesla's ideas on renewable energy. You might find yourself marveling at how Nikola Tesla's vision of renewable energy feels so timeless, as if he was sketching the future with a quiet certainty that the world would one day catch up. He imagined harnessing the Earth's natural forces like the sun, wind, and water as gifts we could tap into endlessly, not as finite resources to deplete. To him, energy wasn't something to fight over or exhaust. It was all around us, like the air we breathe, waiting to be gently gathered and used wisely. Picture him standing at the edge of a waterfall, not just seeing the rushing water, but sensing the invisible power within it, thinking of ways to unlock it for everyone's benefit. Tesla's ideas were like seeds planted in a field of possibility. What seemed radical in his time now feels like common sense as we turn to solar panels and wind turbines. It's as though he whispered a secret to the universe, and now, decades later, we're finally leaning in to listen. His gift wasn't just innovation, it was an invitation to see the world differently, to believe that energy could be abundant and kind, if only we're willing to dream with our eyes open. To Tesla's experiments with ball lightning. You might imagine Nikola Tesla as a solitary figure, like a lighthouse keeper in a storm, illuminating the unknown with flashes of genius. Among his many experiments, his fascination with ball lightning stands out, a phenomenon as elusive and mesmerizing as a firefly in the night. Tesla sought to capture its essence, to understand the glowing spheres that danced unpredictably, as though they held secrets of the universe itself. He believed these mysterious orbs were not just random acts of nature, but clues to something deeper, something that could bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen. In his lab, he mimicked their behavior, crafting miniature versions with electric currents and magnetic fields, like a child coaxing a soap bubble to float just a little longer. His work was not just about control, but about reverence, quiet, dialogue with forces that often evade comprehension. Through his experiments, Tesla showed us that even the most fleeting phenomena can inspire profound questions, inviting us to wonder not just about how things work, but why they exist at all. His pursuit reminds us that curiosity is a gentle flame, and sometimes it's enough to simply let it glow. 23. Tesla's contributions to modern power grids. You might not realize it, but every time you flip a switch or plug in your phone, you're touching a legacy shaped by Nikola Tesla's brilliance. Imagine the power grid as a vast, invisible river, humming with energy. Tesla's alternating current AC system is the gentle current that carries electricity smoothly across continents, like water flowing effortlessly downstream. Before his innovations, power was clumsy and limited, like trying to light a city with candles instead of bulbs. But Tesla's vision transformed it into something elegant and far-reaching, allowing energy to travel long distances without losing strength, like a whisper that carries clearly across a quiet room. His work laid the foundation for the modern grid, a silent symphony of wires and transformers that bring light, warmth, and connection to our lives. It's easy to take for granted, but next time you watch the glow of a lamp or hear the hum of your fridge, remember it's all part of a dream Tesla spun into reality, a gift that still powers our world, quietly and faithfully, like a heartbeat beneath the surface of everyday life. 24. Tesla's predictions about future technologies. You step into this moment, perhaps wondering how someone like Nikola Tesla could see so far ahead of his time, peering into the future like a traveler gazing at a distant horizon. Tesla, with his boundless imagination, envisioned a world interconnected by invisible threads, where energy flowed freely and distant communication was effortless. Ideas that seemed like dreams back then, but are now woven into the fabric of our daily lives. He imagined wireless technology as a kind of universal language, linking people and machines across vast distances, much like how thoughts connect us even when words aren't spoken. His predictions about renewable energy resonate deeply today, as we strive to harness the wind and sun, turning nature's gifts into power for a better tomorrow. Tesla's vision wasn't just about gadgets or convenience. It was about harmony between humanity and technology, between progress and the earth. As you sit here, reflecting on his ideas, it's as if he left behind a map, guiding us toward a future that feels both ambitious and attainable. His gentle optimism reminds us that the future isn't something to fear, but to shape. With curiosity and care, one thoughtful step at a time. 25. Tesla's work on energy efficiency. You might picture Tesla's work on energy efficiency like the careful tuning of an instrument, where every note harmonizes to create a fuller, cleaner sound. It's not just about making cars faster or batteries longer lasting. It's about reshaping how we think about energy itself, how we use it, store it, and even share it. Imagine stepping into a world where every watt of power is treated with respect, like water flowing through a perfectly balanced system, with no drop wasted. Tesla's approach feels almost poetic in its simplicity. They're not just building machines. They're crafting tools that help us live better while treading lightly on the planet. Think of their electric vehicles as vessels that glide effortlessly, quietly transforming energy into motion without the heaviness of guilt or waste. And beyond the cars, their energy storage systems are like silent guardians, holding on to sunlight or wind until they're needed most. It's a vision of balance, where technology doesn't overshadow nature but works alongside it, like a partner in a quiet dance. Through Tesla's innovations, energy efficiency becomes less of a challenge and more of a shared promise, a way to move forward together. Thoughtfully, an SUSTAINABLY.26. Tesla's influence on modern electronics. You might not realize it, but every time you flip a light switch, charge your phone, or even listen to the hum of your refrigerator, you're touching the legacy of Nikola Tesla. His ideas were like seeds planted in the soil of the modern world, quietly growing into the invisible currents that power our lives. Long before smartphones or wireless chargers, Tesla imagined a future where energy flowed effortlessly through the air, where machines communicated without wires, and where electricity was as accessible as sunlight. Though some of his dreams were ahead of their time, the principles he discovered, like alternating current, became the backbone of the electrical grid, the silent pulse behind every gadget and appliance you rely on. Think of him as the architect of the unseen, designing the hidden pathways that let modern life glow and buzz around you. Even now, as you scroll through your screen or adjust your thermostat, his influence lingers like a gentle whisper in the wires, reminding us that the future he envisioned is still unfolding. One quiet spark at a time. 27. Tesla's experiments with electromagnetic fields. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, a solitary figure surrounded by the hum of unseen energies as he reached into the invisible currents of the air, like a gardener tending to hidden roots. His experiments with electromagnetic fields weren't just about machinery or sparks. They were an exploration of the very fabric of the world. A dance with forces most people never notice, like the quiet pull of tides or the whisper of wind through leaves. Tesla saw electricity not as a mere tool, but as a living, flowing thing, something that could be shaped and harmonized. Much like a musician coaxes melody from strings, he dreamed of a world where energy moved freely through the air, lighting lamps without wires, connecting distant places as effortlessly as thoughts flicker across the mind. Though some of his visions remain unfulfilled, his work reminds us that the world is full of unseen wonders, waiting just beneath the surface of the ordinary. And perhaps, in that quiet space between what is and what could be, there's still a little of Tesla's magic, lingering, soft, persistent, and full of promise. 28. Tesla's innovations in lighting technology. You might not realize it, but the way we see the world at night has been quietly shaped by a legacy of innovation, much of it tracing back to the brilliant mind of Nikola Tesla. Imagine stepping into a room lit by the soft, steady glow of electric light. It's so natural now, almost like breathing. But Tesla played a pivotal role in making that possible. His work in lighting technology wasn't just about brightening spaces. It was about redefining how humanity interacts with darkness. Picture the gentle flicker of a candle or the harsh glare of gas lamps, and then think of the smooth, even light of a modern bulb. It's like the difference between stumbling through a dim forest and walking confidently down a well-lit path. Tesla didn't just invent. He envisioned a world where light was both practical and harmonious, where it could be controlled with the flip of a switch, like turning on a stream of water from a faucet. His innovations laid the groundwork for a future where light became not just a necessity, but a kind of quiet magic, effortlessly woven into the fabric of our lives. And isn't that something to pause and marvel at, even now? 29. Tesla's work on transformers and inductors. Might find yourself marveling at how the world around you hums with invisible energy. And in moments like these, it's worth turning your thoughts to Nikola Tesla's work on transformers and inductors. Imagine a river flowing smoothly, its currents carrying power effortlessly from one place to another. That's what Tesla envisioned when he developed these devices. Transformers, like quiet sentinels, step up or step down the voltage of electricity, ensuring it travels safely and efficiently over long distances. Much like a bridge that gently lowers or raises water levels to keep it flowing just right. Inductors, on the other hand, are the steady anchors of electrical circuits, storing energy briefly and releasing it in a controlled way, akin to a deep breath held and then exhaled with purpose. Together, these inventions transformed the way we harness and distribute electricity, making it accessible and practical for everyday life. Tesla's genius lay in his ability to see electricity not as a chaotic force, but as a rhythmic, predictable partner, something that could be tamed and directed with elegance. When you flip a switch or charge a device, it's worth pausing to appreciate the quiet harmony he brought to the unseen symphony that powers our world. 30. Tesla's theories on resonance and vibrations. You might imagine the world around you as a vast, invisible ocean of energy, where everything from the hum of a power line to the rhythm of your own heartbeat is part of a delicate dance of vibrations. Tesla saw this hidden symphony with extraordinary clarity, sensing how even the smallest ripple could grow into a wave if it found the right frequency, like a whisper that builds into a chorus when it resonates with the air itself. He believed that understanding these vibrations was the key to unlocking nature's secrets, whether lighting a city or transmitting power without wires. Think of a child on a swing, pushing at just the right moment to go higher and higher. That's resonance, the art of matching energy with rhythm. Tesla's ideas remind us that the universe is far more connected than it seems, humming with patterns we're only beginning to hear. And though his visions were grand, they were rooted in something simple, the quiet truth that everything moves, everything sings, and if we listen closely, we might just find harmony in the unseen. 31. Tesla's experiments with wireless telegraphy. Might imagine Nikola Tesla as a man with a mind like a vast, unlit sky, where ideas sparked like distant lightning, brilliant and unpredictable. In the late 19th century, while the world was still marveling at the telegraph, Tesla dreamed of a world without wires, a vision as bold as it was poetic. His experiments with wireless telegraphy were less about conquering distance and more about connecting humanity in a way that felt almost spiritual. Picture this. Instead of relying on the tangle of cables that crisscrossed continents, he saw the Earth itself as a conductor, a living, breathing medium for communication. It was as if he wanted to turn the planet into one giant whisper, carrying messages effortlessly through the air. His Wardenclyffe Tower, though never completed, stood as a testament to this dream, a kind of cathedral to the invisible, reaching for the heavens. While his work didn't yield the immediate success he hoped for, it planted seeds for the wireless world we take for granted today. Tesla's vision reminds us that the most profound ideas often begin as whispers, fragile and fleeting, before they grow into the hum of progress. It's a gentle reminder to dream boldly, even when the world isn't quite ready to listen. 32. Tesla's legacy in science and engineering. You might have heard of Tesla, the man whose name now hums through electric cars, but his legacy in science and engineering runs far deeper, like a quiet river beneath the surface of modern life. Nikola Tesla wasn't just an inventor. He was a dreamer who saw the world in currents and waves, imagining a future where energy flowed freely, like water, through a stream. His work with alternating current AC electricity laid the foundation for the power grids that light our homes and fuel our lives today. A gift so seamless it's easy to forget it was born from his visionary mind. He thought beyond the practical, weaving together science and artistry, envisioning wireless communication long before it became our reality. Yet, his story also reminds us that brilliance doesn't always find its moment in the sun. He faced challenges and faded into the shadows of his time. But now, looking back, we can see how his ideas were seeds planted in the soil of progress, growing into the world we now take for granted. In a way, Tesla's legacy is like the electricity he championed, invisible, yet everywhere, a quiet force that continues to shape our lives in ways both seen and unseen. 3. Tesla's contributions to particle physics. You might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla's mind was like a lantern in the dark, casting light on mysteries we're still unraveling today. While he's often remembered for his work with electricity, his quieter contributions to particle physics, though less celebrated, were just as profound. Imagine the universe as a vast, invisible ocean, and particles as tiny ripples moving through it. Tesla sensed these ripples long before we had the tools to measure them. He spoke of rays and energies that seemed to dance beyond the edges of conventional science, hinting at forces we now recognize as cosmic rays and high-energy particles. His experiments with high-frequency currents and vacuum tubes were like whispers from the future, suggesting a world where matter and energy blurred into one, though he didn't have the language we use today. His intuition was uncanny, like a painter who feels the colors before mixing them. Tesla's legacy in particle physics isn't just about what he proved, but how he taught us to wonder, to look deeper, and to trust that even the faintest spark of curiosity can illuminate the unknown. 34. Tesla's work on capacitors and energy. Storage. You might picture Tesla as a man obsessed with lightning, his mind crackling with ideas as he sought to harness the invisible energy around us. His work on capacitors and energy storage wasn't just about machines. It was about capturing the fleeting, like trying to hold a spark in your hands long enough to light up the world. Imagine a glass jar filling drop by drop with water, each droplet a tiny charge, pooling together until the container hums with potential. That's how he saw capacitors, not as cold, technical devices, but as vessels for possibility, waiting to release their stored energy in a controlled, graceful surge. He dreamed of a future where energy could be stored like a deep breath before a leap, where power wasn't wasted but preserved, ready to flow when needed. Even now, his vision lingers in the quiet hum of your phone's battery, or the way renewable energy is tucked away for cloudy days. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound ideas are the ones that work silently in the background, steady and unseen, like the heartbeat of progress itself. 35. Tesla's theories on Earth's natural resonances. You might imagine the Earth as a vast, humming orchestra, each layer an element playing its own subtle note, and Nikola Tesla believed he could hear the music. He saw our planet not just as a solid mass, but as a living, pulsing thing, vibrating with energies we barely understand. Think of it like a bell strike at once, and the sound lingers, rippling through the air long after the initial touch. Tesla wondered if the Earth too held these hidden resonances, frequencies so low and deep they moved through rock and water like whispers through a quiet room. He dreamed of harnessing this natural rhythm, not to dominate, but to harmonize, to draw energy from the planet's own heartbeat, clean and endless as the wind. It's a gentle idea, really, that the world beneath our feet isn't just silent stone, but a chorus waiting to be heard. And though his theories were ahead of their time, they remind us that even the ground we walk on holds mysteries, quiet and profound, if only we pause to listen. 36. Tesla's inventions in medical technology might not realize it, but Tesla's brilliance didn't just light up cities or power machines, it also quietly shaped the way we approach healing and medicine. Imagine life as a vast, uncharted river, and Tesla's mind as a boat, always cutting through the unknown with curiosity and precision. While he's often celebrated for his work with electricity, his lesser-known inventions in medical technology are like gentle ripples on that river, still felt today. For instance, his experiments with high-frequency currents led to the development of diathermy, a therapy that uses heat to relieve pain and promote healing, much like a warm hand soothing an aching muscle. He also explored the potential of electromagnetic fields to influence the human body, planting seeds for technologies like MRI machines, which now allow doctors to see deep inside us without a single cut. Tesla's vision wasn't just about creating tools. It was about understanding life's invisible forces and using them to bring comfort and clarity. Even now, his ideas remind us that innovation isn't always flashy. It's often a quiet, steady light, guiding us toward better ways to care for one another. Let that thought linger, how one man's curiosity still touches us in ways we might not even notice. 37. Tesla's work on radio-controlled vehicles. You might not realize it, but the story of Tesla's work on radio-controlled vehicles feels a bit like watching seeds planted in fertile soil, quiet, unassuming, yet brimming with potential. Picture it, the late 19th century, a time when electricity was still mysterious, and the idea of controlling something from afar seemed almost magical. Nikola Tesla, with his profound imagination and tireless curiosity, envisioned a world where machines could be guided without physical touch, like a puppeteer pulling invisible strings. In 1898, he demonstrated this vision with a small radio bode, a marvel that left onlookers in awe. It wasn't just a gadget. It was a glimpse into the future, a whisper of what technology could become. Think of it as the first ripple in a vast ocean of possibilities: self-driving cars, drones, even spacecraft navigating the stars. Tesla's work, though often overlooked in its time, laid the groundwork for so much of what we take for granted. Today, it's a reminder that even the quietest innovations can echo loudly through history, shaping the world in ways we might not fully understand until much later. So, when you see a drone soaring above or a car parking itself, remember, it all began with a man who saw the unseen and dared to make it real. 38 Tesla's experiments with vacuum tubes. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, the air humming with possibility as he bends over a glass vacuum tube, its eerie glow casting shadows like a captured lightning bug. In those quiet moments, he wasn't just tinkering with wires and electricity, he was peering into the hidden rhythms of the universe, trying to coax secrets from the empty space inside those fragile tubes. Think of it like holding a seashell. To your ear, the vacuum, stripped of air, became a silent chamber where electricity could dance in ways no one had seen before. Tesla watched as strange lights flickered and curled, like living things, revealing that even nothingness could hold energy, waiting to be awakened. It wasn't just about invention for him. It was about wonder, about asking, what else is hidden in the quiet places. And though his experiments might seem like relics of another time, they whisper a reminder that curiosity doesn't need to rush or shout sometimes. The most profound discoveries come from sitting still, listening to the hum of the unknown. 39. Tesla's contributions to military technology. You might think of Nikola Tesla as the quiet architect behind the hum of modern electricity. But his contributions to military technology reveal a different, more intricate layer of his genius. Picture him not just as a dreamer of alternating currents, but as a mind that saw potential in the invisible threads of energy around us. During World War I, Tesla imagined harnessing these forces for defenses, sketching out ideas for remote boats and aircraft, a concept so ahead of its time it felt like pulling the future into the present. He envisioned a world where warfare could be conducted from a distance, minimizing human risk, though his ideas often danced just beyond the grasp of practicality. Tesla's work also laid the groundwork for technologies like radar and wireless communication, tools that would later become the unseen nervous system of modern military operations. Yet, his true legacy here isn't just in the devices themselves, but in the way he thought about technologies, something that could protect as much as it could empower. It's like he saw the world as a vast, interconnected web, and his role was to gently nudge it toward harmony, even in the storm of conflict. 40. Tesla's theories on cosmic energies. Might find yourself wondering about the vastness of the cosmos, and the energy that flows through it, unseen yet ever present, like whispers carried on the wind. Nikola Tesla, a man of extraordinary vision, believed this cosmic energy was not only real but also accessible to us, a boundless resource waiting to be tapped. He saw the universe as a living, breathing entity, pulsing with waves of energy that connected everything: stars, planets, and even our own bodies. To him, this energy wasn't just a scientific curiosity. It was a profound symphony, a rhythm that could harmonize with human ingenuity. Tesla imagined a world where we could harness this energy, not through force or destruction, but through understanding and alignment, like tuning an instrument to a perfect pitch. His ideas were both bold and humble, blending the practical with the poetic. He didn't just dream of technological advancement. He dreamed of a deeper connection to the universe itself. While many of his theories remain untested or misunderstood, they invite us to think differently, to see the world not as a collection of separate parts, but as a unified whole, humming with possibilities. In quiet moments, you might feel it too, the subtle pull of something greater, reminding us that we are not just observers of this cosmic dance, but participants in it. For one, Tesla's work on hydroelectric power. When you think about Tesla's work on hydroelectric power, it's almost like imagining a river as a thread of energy, waiting to be woven into something extraordinary. Tesla saw water not just as a force of nature, but as a symphony of motion, capable of turning the wheels of progress. He dreamed of harnessing that flow not to dominate it, but to work with it, guiding its power into something that could light up entire cities. Picture Niagara Falls, roaring with life, and then imagine Tesla standing there, envisioning how its relentless energy could be gently redirected into turbines, transforming chaos into a steady, humming current. It's like taming a wild horse, not breaking its spirit, but directing its strength. What's so beautiful about this is how he thought of sustainability long before it became a buzzword, using what nature already provides, without destroying. It is a reminder that sometimes the solutions to our biggest challenges are already flowing around us, waiting for someone to see their potential. Tesla's work feels almost timeless, doesn't it? It's a quiet testament to how we can create progress by listening to the world rather than shouting over it. For two, Tesla's innovations in wireless telegraphy might not realize it now, but the way we communicate wirelessly today owes a great deal to the ingenuity of Nikola Tesla, particularly his work in wireless telegraphy. Picture this, the late 19th century, a time when the world was still tethered by wires, and sending messages across vast distances felt like trying to shout across an ocean. Tesla saw beyond those limitations, dreaming of a world where information could travel freely, like invisible threads weaving through the air. His experiments with wireless telegraphy were like planting seeds in a vast, uncharted field each spark. Each breakthrough was a step toward a future where communication wasn't bound by cables or miles. He envisioned a system where messages could leap across continents effortlessly, as if carried by an unseen breeze. It wasn't just about the technology, it was about connection, about shrinking the world in a way that felt almost magical. Work laid the groundwork for the wireless world we now take for granted, the testament to his belief that the impossible could become possible with patience and imagination. In a way, his vision feels like a quiet reminder that innovation often begins with a single spark of curiosity, lighting the way for generations to come. 43. Tesla's experiments with ionized gases. It's fascinating to think about how Tesla turned his curiosity into something so profound, especially when it came to ionized gases. Picture it like this. Imagine holding a glowing lantern in the dark. But instead of fire, the light comes from something almost magical, air that's been electrified, awakened into a shimmering dance. Tesla wasn't just tinkering, he was exploring, something that felt like the edge of a dream, where invisible forces could be coaxed into visible beauty. He used tubes filled with gases, and when he passed electricity through them, they lit up in colors that seemed to belong to another world. It wasn't just about the glow, though. Tesla saw in these experiments a glimpse of how energy could flow freely, almost like a river finding its path, unbound by the rigid constraints of wires. It's a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries come from simply asking, "What if?" and then quietly, patiently watching the answer unfold. There's something deeply human in that blend of wonder and persistence that feels like a quiet, glowing hope in the face of the unknown. For Tesla's contributions to quantum physics, you may not realize it, but Tesla's contributions to quantum physics are like finding a single thread in a vast, intricate tapestry, one that, when tugged, reveals connections you might not have noticed before. Though Tesla is often remembered for his work in electricity and engineering, his ideas quietly nudged the foundations of what would later become quantum theory. He spoke of energy in ways that hinted at a world far more fluid and interconnected than the rigid mechanics of his time. Imagine standing by a pond, watching ripples spread outward, each wave interacting and overlapping in ways that seem almost alive. That's how Tesla saw energy, as something dynamic and not easily bound by traditional rules. His experiments with alternating currents and wireless transmission hinted at possibilities that aligned, in spirit, with the quantum world's strange behaviors, where particles can exist in multiple states at once, and energy seems to leap across distances instantaneously. Tesla didn't have the language of quantum mechanics as we do today, but his intuition painted a picture of the universe that feels remarkably aligned with it. So, while he may not have solved the quantum puzzle, he helped lay the groundwork for others to see the pieces more clearly. 4.5. Tesla's work on radio transmission. You might imagine Nikola Tesla as a man who saw the world differently, his mind alight with visions of invisible energy dancing through the air like threads of light. His work on radio transmission wasn't just about sending signals, it was about unlocking the hidden symphony of the universe, where waves could carry voices and ideas across vast distances without a single wire. Picture him in his laboratory, a solitary figure surrounded by crackling sparks and humming coils, as he reached for something no one else could yet grasp, while others were still tethered to the earth. Tesla dreamed of a world connected by the very air we breathe, where communication flowed as effortlessly as a breeze. His ideas were ahead of their time, brushed aside by noise and competition. Yet his vision quietly shaped the future we now take for granted. Even today, when you send a message through the airwaves, you're touching the edges of his dream, a reminder that the most profound discoveries often begin as whispers in the mind of someone who dared to listen. 46. Tesla's theories on the ether and space. You might find yourself wondering, as Tesla once did, about the invisible threads that stitch the universe together. He imagined space not as an empty void, but as a living, breathing entity filled with something he called the ether, kind of unseen ocean that permeates everything. Picture it like water in a vast, endless lake, where every ripple, every wave, carries energy and influence across distances we can't fathom. Tesla believed this ether was the medium through which light, electricity, and even thought could travel, connecting the cosmos in ways science hadn't yet grasped. His ideas were bold, almost poetic, envisioning space as a canvas where forces danced in intricate, invisible patterns. Now, while modern science has moved away from the concept of the ether, Tesla's theories still spark curiosity about the nature of space and energy. They remind us that there's always more to uncover, more mysteries waiting to be gently teased apart. It's comforting, in a way, to think that the universe, in all its complexity, might still hold secrets as beautiful and profound as Tesla imagined. Maybe, just maybe, we're all part of that vast, pulsing rhythm, connected by something we've yet to fully understand. 47. Tesla's experiments with electrotherapy. Might find it fascinating how Nikola Tesla, that brilliant mind, who danced with electricity like a poet with words, once turned his attention to healing. Imagine him in his lab, surrounded by humming coils and flickering sparks, wondering if those very currents that lit up cities could also mend the human body. His experiments with electrotherapy were gentle explorations, like a gardener testing. Sunlight on delicate leaves, careful, hopeful, full of quiet curiosity. Tesla believed that tiny, controlled pulses of electricity could soothe nerves, ease pain, or even stir dormant energy within us. Much like a breeze reviving a weary flower, he wasn't chasing miracles. He was listening to the subtle language of the body, tuning his machines to harmonize with its rhythms. Though his work in this field often stays in the shadows of his grander inventions, there's something deeply human in his pursuit, a reminder that even the most dazzling minds return, eventually, to the simple wish to heal. And isn't it comforting to think that the same force that powers storms might also, in the right hands, bring relief? 48. Tesla's contributions to early radar technology. Might be surprised to find that Nikola Tesla, often celebrated for his groundbreaking work in electricity and wireless communication, also quietly left his fingerprints on the early development of radar technology. Picture Tesla as someone always looking over the horizon, not just at what was possible now, but at what could be possible someday. In the early 20th century, long before radar became a household word, Tesla theorized about using electromagnetic waves to detect distant objects, a concept that would later become the cornerstone of radar systems. He envisioned a world where invisible waves could act like a kind of electric eye, reaching out into the darkness to reveal what lay beyond. Though his ideas were ahead of their time and lacked the practical implementation we associate with modern radar, they planted seeds of inspiration in the minds of future inventors. Tesla's contributions were more like the quiet hum of a tuning fork, resonating quietly but setting the stage for others to build upon. So while he may not have built a radar himself, his vision helped chart the course for technologies that would later save lives during wartime and revolutionize navigation. It's a gentle reminder that even ideas that seem distant or abstract can ripple forward in ways we might not immediately see. 49. Tesla's work on magnetic fields and levitation. You might find it fascinating to think about how Tesla's explorations with magnetic fields opened doors to ideas that once felt like science fiction, like levitation, for instance. Picture this: magnets pushing and pulling, invisible forces dancing in the air, creating a kind of harmony that allows objects to float effortlessly, as though gravity itself has been gently persuaded to step aside. Tesla's work wasn't just about harnessing power, it was about understanding the subtle rhythms of nature, the way magnetic fields could be coaxed into patterns that defy our everyday experience. He saw these forces as threads in a vast, unseen tapestry, and he believed they could be woven into something extraordinary. When you imagine magnetic levitation, think of it as a delicate balancing act, like holding a feather steady on a breath of air. It's not just about lifting objects, it's about finding that perfect moment of equilibrium where everything aligns. Tesla's vision was a reminder that even the most familiar forces, like gravity, can be transformed if we approach them with curiosity and care. It's a quiet kind of magic, one that invites us to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. 50. Tesla's theories on time and space. You might find yourself caught up in the whirlwind of daily life, where time feels like a river rushing past, and space seems fixed and unyielding. But Tesla imagined these concepts differently, like threads in a vast, intricate tapestry, where time and space weren't separate but woven together. He saw them as fluid, almost alive, bending and twisting in ways that defy our everyday experience. To him, time wasn't just a straight line leading from past to future. It could ripple like a pond when a stone is dropped, creating moments where the present might touch the past or even the future. And space. It wasn't just emptiness or distance, but a dynamic field pulsating with energy, ready to be shaped or harnessed. Tesla's ideas invite you to step back and wonder if the world you see is only a small part of what's possible. They remind you that even the familiar can hold mysteries waiting to be uncovered. It's as if he's gently pulling back a curtain, revealing a glimpse of something deeper, something more interconnected than we usually perceive. A reminder that the universe is far more wondrous than we often allow ourselves to believe. 5.1. Tesla's experiments with fluorescent lighting. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, surrounded by the soft, eerie glow of fluorescent tubes, like fireflies, trapped in glass. He wasn't just inventing, he was uncovering the hidden poetry of electricity, teasing light from the invisible currents that hummed through the air. His experiments with fluorescent lighting weren't merely about brightness, they were about revealing a new kind of radiance, one that felt almost alive, flickering with possibilities. Picture the way a candle's flame dances, unpredictable and warm. And then imagine Tesla's vision, a light that could be steadier, purer, yet still carried a whisper of mystery. He saw electricity not as a brute force, but as a delicate brushstroke, painting the air with luminescence. In those quiet moments of trial and error, he was bridging the gap between the practical and the sublime, giving us a way to hold a piece of the sky in our hands. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary things, like the light above your head, can carry echoes of someone's wonder. A quiet legacy of curiosity that still illuminates our world today. 5.2. Tesla's contributions to aviation technology. Might find it surprising that Nikola Tesla, often celebrated for his groundbreaking work in electricity and wireless communication, also left an indelible mark on aviation technology, though in ways that feel almost like whispers in the wind, rather than a roaring engine. Imagine a world where the skies were just beginning to be seen as more than an untouchable expanse. Tesla was one of those dreamers who dared to look up and ponder how humanity could soar. His visionary ideas about wireless power transmission, though not fully realized in his time, laid the groundwork for modern advancements like drone technology and even wireless charging systems used in aircraft today. Think of his contributions as the roots of a tree, unseen but vital, nurturing the growth of innovations that now feel like second nature. His work with alternating current motors and energy efficiency also found echoes in the development of more sustainable aviation technologies, guiding engineers toward cleaner, more efficient ways to take flight. Even today, as we marvel at the elegance of modern aviation, it's worth remembering Tesla's quiet, persistent belief that the impossible could one day become possible, a reminder that the seeds of progress are often sown by those who dream. Beyond the horizon. 53. Tesla's work on submarine communication. You've probably heard of Nikola Tesla as the genius behind so much of modern electricity. But his work on submarine communication feels like a hidden gem in his legacy, something tucked away in the quiet corners of history. Picture this: the ocean, vast and mysterious. A place where sound behaves in strange ways, like whispers bouncing through a cathedral. Tesla saw this expanse not as a barrier, but as a canvas, imagining a way to send messages beneath the waves. He dreamed of using low-frequency radio waves, thinking of them as gentle ripples that could glide through water, connecting ships, submarines, and even the shore. It's almost like he wanted to weave an invisible thread across the depths, linking worlds that seemed so far apart. Though his ideas were ahead of their time, technology then wasn't ready to catch up. His vision planted seeds for what would later bloom into modern underwater communication systems. It's a reminder that even the boldest dreams, the ones that feel like reaching into the unknown, have a way of shaping the future. And isn't that just how progress works? One step, one idea, one ripple at a time. 54. Tesla's theories on the structure of matter. You stand at the edge of a vast, unseen ocean, wondering what lies beneath its surface, and that's where Tesla's ideas about the structure of matter begin. He imagined the universe not as a collection of solid, unchanging blocks, but as a dance of energy and vibrations, like ripples on water. To him, matter wasn't rigid or fixed. It was alive, fluid, and interconnected, woven together by forces we're only beginning to understand. Picture a melody played on a string. Its notes aren't the string itself, but the way it moves, the energy it carries. Tesla saw matter in a similar way, as a manifestation of energy harmonizing in patterns we call atoms, particles, and beyond. He believed that everything, from the air you breathe to the stars above, is part of this grand symphony, each element resonating with the others. It's a vision that invites you to see the world not as separate pieces, but as a beautifully orchestrated whole. And while his theories may not always align with modern science, they remind us to look beyond the surface, to wonder at the connections that bind us to everything else. In that sense, Tesla's ideas are less about explaining and more about inspiring, a gentle nudge to see the universe as something alive, pulsing, and endlessly fascinating. 55. Tesla's experiments with magnetic resonance. You might imagine Tesla in his lab, a man deeply attuned to the unseen forces of the world, like a musician listening for the faintest harmony in a silent room. His experiments with magnetic resonance were less about brute force and more about understanding the rhythm of nature itself. Picture a tuning fork, strike it, and it hums at a precise pitch, vibrating in unison with itself. Tesla wondered if the universe had its own hidden frequencies, and if he could tap into them through magnetism and electricity. He wasn't just building machines. He was trying to dance with the invisible pulse of existence. In his mind, energy wasn't something to be wrestled or controlled, but something to resonate with, like a conversation between the earth and the heavens. He saw potential in the air itself, as if it were a vast untapped sea of possibilities, waiting for the right moment to ripple into motion. What's beautiful about his work is that it reminds us to listen, not just to the loud and obvious, but to the subtle, the quiet, the unseen. Tesla's vision wasn't just scientific, it was poetic, inviting us to feel the world differently, like hearing a song we didn't know was playing all along. 56. Tesla's contributions to early television technology. You might not realize it, but when you settle into your favorite chair to watch television, you're enjoying the echoes of Nikola Tesla's brilliance. Long before flat screens and streaming, Tesla envisioned a world where images could travel through the air like whispers on the wind, and his work laid invisible threads for others to follow. Though he never built a television himself, his experiments with alternating currents and wireless transmission were like planting seeds in fertile soil, ideas that would later blossom into the technology we take for granted today. Think of it as lighting a candle in a dark room, not knowing how far its glow would reach. Tesla's insights into high-frequency waves and electrical resonance became the quiet foundation for pioneers like Farnsworth and Zworykin, who brought television to life. It's a gentle reminder that progress often grows from the dreams of those who see beyond their time. So the next time you lose yourself in a story on the screen, remember Tesla's quiet contribution, a ripple in the pond of innovation, still touching our lives in ways he could only imagine. 57. Tesla's work on solar energy and photovoltaics. You might picture Tesla and think of sleek electric cars or rockets piercing the sky. But the company's work with solar energy is quieter, like sunlight itself, steady, patient, and full of quiet promise. Imagine those sleek solar panels resting on rooftops or stretching across fields, soaking up the sun's energy like leaves on a tree, turning light into something we can use without a sound. Tesla's vision isn't just about capturing energy, it's about weaving it into our lives so seamlessly that one day we might not even notice it's there, like the way we don't think about the air we breathe. Their solar roofs, for example, aren't clunky additions, but part of the home itself. Tiles that blend in while doing something extraordinary. And the Powerwall, that unassuming box on the wall, holds onto sunlight like a jar of fireflies, saving it for when the night comes or the grid falters. It's a reminder that the future isn't always loud or flashy. Sometimes it's as simple as a roof that gathers light, or a battery that hums quietly in the background, keeping the lights on and the air clean. One sunbeam at a time. 0.58. Theories on teleportation and transmission. You might find yourself marveling at the audacity of Nikola Tesla's mind, forever reaching beyond the confines of what seemed possible. Imagine him, a man who saw electricity not just as a force, but as a thread weaving through the fabric of existence itself. Tesla's theories on teleportation and transmission weren't about magic or science fiction, but rather his profound belief in the interconnectedness of energy and matter. He envisioned a world where distance could be dissolved, not by moving objects through space, but by tapping into the unseen currents that bind everything together. Picture it as if he were trying to tune into the universe's hidden frequency, where information or matter could flow effortlessly, like ripples across a pond. His ideas were less about defying physics and more about aligning with its deepest rhythms. While we've yet to achieve teleportation, his vision nudges us to think differently about energy, space, and connection. It's as though Tesla was whispering to the future, inviting us to see beyond the obvious, to explore the subtle harmonies of a world that might still surprise us. And in that gentle invitation, there's both wonder and reassurance, reminder that the unknown isn't something to fear, but a vast open doorway waiting to be stepped through. 0.59. Tesla's experiments with electromagnetic radiation. You might not realize it, but the world around you hums with invisible energy, much like the quiet buzz of a summer evening. Nikola Tesla, a man captivated by this unseen symphony, spent much of his life exploring electromagnetic radiation, a force that's everywhere but rarely noticed. Imagine a spider weaving an intricate web. Tesla saw the universe as a vast network of interconnected energies, and he believed harnessing them could change the way we live. His experiments weren't just about invention. They were about understanding the fabric of existence itself. He dreamed of transmitting power without wires, like whispers carried on the wind, and envisioned a world where energy flowed freely and effortlessly. While some of his ideas seemed ahead of their time, almost like glimpses of a future we're still reaching for, his work laid the foundation for technologies we now take for granted. Tesla's curiosity reminds us that there's always more to discover, even in the spaces we can't see. So next time you flip a light switch or feel the warmth of the sun, pause for a moment and think about the quiet, invisible forces that shape our lives, and the dreamer who dared to unlock their secrets. 60 Tesla's contributions too early. Computer technology, you might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla's ideas were like seeds planted in the early soil of computer technology, quietly sprouting long before the digital age we know today. His work with alternating current and wireless communication didn't just revolutionize electricity, it laid the groundwork for how we think about transmitting information. Imagine Tesla as a painter, sketching the outlines of a future he couldn't fully see, but one where machines could think and communicate in ways that seemed almost magical. His vision of wireless signals crisscrossing the globe hinted at the internet long before it existed, and his understanding of electromagnetic waves paved the way for the binary language computers now speak. Even his fascination with automation, machines that could function independently, foreshadowed the logic and processes that drive modern computing. It's as though he was writing the first chapter of a story others would later expand upon. While Tesla himself never built a computer, his ideas were like sparks that lit a fire, inspiring those who came after him. In a way, every time you use a device today, you're touching a piece of his legacy, a reminder that sometimes the most profound contributions aren't about what someone builds, but the ideas they set in motion. 61. Tesla's work on earthquake machines. You might find it intriguing that Nikola Tesla, a man often celebrated for his work with electricity, once dabbled in something as unexpected as earthquake machines. Imagine him in his laboratory, a place humming with the quiet energy of 1,000 ideas, tinkering with a device no larger than a small clock. This tiny machine, when attached to a building's frame, could send vibrations through the structure, shaking it as if the earth itself had stirred. It's almost like watching a single pebble dropped into a still pond, ripples spreading, growing, until the entire surface is alive with motion. Tesla believed such a device could harness the Earth's own rhythms, a thought both fascinating and slightly unsettling. Yet, in his mind, it was less about destruction and more about understanding the profound forces that shape our world. As you sit here now, perhaps you can feel the subtle vibrations of life around you, the distant hum of a car, the gentle creak of a chair. Tesla's work reminds us that even the quietest moments are filled with unseen energy, a reminder to respect the delicate balance of our world. It's comforting, in a way, to know that even the great minds of history were captivated by the same mysteries that still captivate us today. 62. Tesla's theories on the nature of electricity. You might imagine electricity as a hidden river, always flowing beneath the surface of the world, unseen but full of life. Tesla saw it this way, too, not just as a force to be harnessed, but as a kind of living energy, pulsing through everything like the breath of the earth itself. He believed it moved in waves, like ripples on a pond, and that if we could truly understand its rhythm, we could tap into something far greater than mere power. To him, electricity wasn't just wires and sparks. It was a symphony, a dance of invisible currents that connected all things. He dreamed of a world where energy moved freely through the air, like sunlight, without the need for cords or grids. And though his visions were grand, his ideas were rooted in simplicity, a reminder that the most profound truths often lie in the quietest observations. So when you flip a switch or feel the hum of a device, remember, you're not just using electricity, you're touching a mystery Tesla spent his life trying to unravel. One gentle spark at a time. Top 6.3. Tesla's experiments with wireless illumination. You might find yourself wondering how Tesla, a man often shrouded in mystery and brilliance, envisioned a world where light could travel without wires, as if it were a whisper carried on the wind. Picture this: instead of bulbs screwed into sockets, glowing spheres floating effortlessly, alive with energy, illuminating a room like fireflies suspended in mid-air. Tesla dreamed of wireless illumination, a concept that feels almost magical. Even today, he imagined a world where electricity could leap through the air, untethered, free. His experiments were like a painter's first brushstrokes on a blank canvas, messy, daring, full of possibility. He used towering coils to generate sparks that danced like lightning, trying to capture and tame this elusive force. Though his vision never fully came to life in the way he imagined, the idea itself was a spark that continues to glow in the minds of innovators. It reminds us that sometimes the grandest ideas don't need to be practical to be profound. They simply need to inspire, to stretch the boundaries of what we believe is possible. And in that quiet, timeless way, Tesla's dream still lights the way forward, softly guiding us toward the unknown. 6.4. Tesla's contributions to early robotics. You might not realize it, but Tesla's fingerprints are all over the early days of robotics, quietly shaping ideas that would later blossom into the machines we know today. Picture him in his lab, a man ahead of his time, tinkering with inventions that seemed to whisper secrets of the future. Long before robots could walk or talk, Tesla was dreaming of automated systems, like his remote-controlled boat, a delicate dance of wires and signals that moved as if by magic. It was as if he'd planted a seed in the soil of innovation, one that would grow slowly but surely into the towering trees of modern robotics. His work wasn't just about gears and electricity. It was about possibility, the kind that makes you pause and wonder what else might be just beyond the horizon. He showed us that machines could listen, could respond, could almost think, and in doing so, he gently nudged the world toward a future where humans and machines might work together, like partners in a quiet, endless conversation. Even now, his legacy hums softly in the background, a reminder that every great leap begins with a single, curious step. 6.5. Tesla's work on energy harvesting from the atmosphere. You might imagine Nikola Tesla as a man who saw the world differently, his mind tuned to the invisible currents that flow through the air around us, like a musician hearing melodies in the wind. He dreamed of tapping into the Earth's natural energy, drawing power from the atmosphere itself, vast untapped reservoir, humming with potential, much like a hidden river waiting to be channeled. His experiments suggested that the air we breathe could one day become a source of clean, boundless energy, a notion as poetic as it was revolutionary. Picture the sky not just as empty space, but as a living, pulsing network of energy, and you begin to grasp the beauty of his vision. Though his ideas were ahead of their time, and many remain unrealized, they remind us that the world is full of unseen possibilities, waiting for the right mind to uncover them. Even now, his work whispers to us, a gentle nudge to look beyond what's immediately visible, to wonder what else might be lingering just out of sight. ready to light up the future. 66. Tesla's theories on the unified field theory. You might have heard whispers about Tesla's fascination with the unified field theory, a grand idea that physics could tie all forces of nature into one elegant explanation. Imagine the universe as a vast tapestry, woven with threads of gravity, electromagnetism, and other hidden forces. Tesla dreamed of finding the single thread that, when pulled, would reveal the entire pattern. He believed that everything in the cosmos, from the smallest particle to the furthest star, was interconnected in ways we could barely glimpse. His work wasn't just science. It was a poetic quest to understand the harmony of existence. Tesla saw electricity as a key to this mystery. Almost like a language, the universe speaks a language he spent his life trying to decode, while he never fully unveiled the unified field theory. His ideas were seeds planted in fertile ground, inspiring generations of thinkers to keep searching. It's comforting, isn't it? The thought that there's a deeper order to everything, waiting to be discovered. Tesla's vision reminds us to stay curious, to look beyond what we see, and to trust that even the most complex mysteries might someday unfold like petals in the sun. 67. Tesla's experiments with high-voltage discharges. You might find yourself drawn to the idea of Tesla's experiments with high-voltage discharges. Not just for the spectacle, but for the way they reveal the hidden forces of our world. Picture him in his lab, surrounded by coils and sparks, like a conductor summoning lightning from thin air. It wasn't just about power. It was about understanding how energy moves, dances, and connects everything unseen. Tesla saw electricity not as a tool, but as poetry, a language spoken by the universe itself. When he created those electric arcs, brilliant, snapping threads of light, he was pulling back the curtain on a mystery most people never even thought to question. It's like watching a magician reveal the trick. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. And yet, there's something reassuring in it too. His experiments remind us that even the most chaotic bursts of energy can be channeled, understood, and harnessed. It's a lesson in trust that the world, for all its complexity, holds patterns we can learn to work with. Tesla's sparks weren't just about voltage. They were about possibility. A reminder that even the invisible can light up the world. 68. Tesla's contributions to early space exploration. You might wonder how a man like Nikola Tesla, often seen as a master of electricity and wireless communication, could have quietly shaped the early dreams of space exploration. Think of his mind as a lantern, casting light into the darkest corners of possibility long before rockets soared into the heavens. Tesla wasn't the one building spacecraft or plotting trajectories, but his ideas about energy, transmission, and the invisible forces of nature became the seeds from which modern space endeavors grew. He imagined a world where humanity could harness the power of the cosmos, even suggesting ways to communicate across vast distances, ideas that felt like science fiction at the time but now feel eerily familiar. In a way, his vision was like a bridge, connecting the grounded realities of his era to the boundless aspirations of space exploration. While others were focused on the mechanics of flight, Tesla was already gazing beyond, whispering to the stars. His legacy reminds us that progress often begins with quiet thought, with someone daring to dream of what lies beyond the horizon. And in that sense, his contributions to space exploration are not just scientific, they are deeply human. 69. Tesla's work on wireless voice transmission. You might imagine Nikola Tesla as a man who saw the world not just as it was, but as it could be, a dreamer with sparks of genius flickering behind his eyes. when he turned his mind to wireless voice transmission, he wasn't just tinkering with wires and coils. He was reaching for something invisible yet profound, like trying to catch whispers on the wind and weave them into something tangible. Picture him in his lab, surrounded by the hum of strange machines, convinced that voices could travel through the air as effortlessly as light fills a room. To him, the very atmosphere was a vast, untapped ocean, and he believed we could send words sailing across it without a single physical thread to guide them. It was a vision far ahead of its time, one that brushed against the edges of magic. Though the world wasn't quite ready to embrace his ideas, the echoes of his work still resonate today, hidden in the wireless technologies we now take for granted. In a way, Tesla was planting seeds in soil he'd never see bloomer, quiet reminder that some of the most brilliant ideas take time to find their voice. 70. Tesla's theories on the transmission of energy through space. When Nikola Tesla envisioned energy moving through space, he wasn't just thinking about wires and circuits. He saw something much grander, like a river flowing silently through the air, unseen but ever present. He believed the Earth itself was a conductor, pulsing with energy that could be tapped into, harnessed, and sent across vast distances without the need for physical connections. Imagine it as a kind of symphony, where every note resonates perfectly, each wave of energy harmonizing with the next, traveling effortlessly through the void. Tesla dreamed of a world where power could move freely, like sunlight streaming through a window, available to anyone, anywhere. His ideas were bold, almost poetic, suggesting that the boundaries we see like the edges of a map are just illusions, and that the true nature of energy is limitless and fluid. It's a comforting thought, isn't it, that even in the vastness of space, there's a kind of order, a hidden connection that binds everything together. Tesla's theories remind us that the world is full of possibilities, waiting to be discovered, if only we dare to look beyond what's immediately visible. 71. Tesla's experiments with static electricity. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, a solitary figure surrounded by the quiet hum of possibility as he coaxed sparks from the very air itself. Picture him standing before a strange machine, its metal arms reaching like branches into the darkness, summoning flickers of lightning that danced across his fingertips, not with violence, but with the grace of a whispered secret. This was his exploration of static electricity, a force most of us know only as the sharp surprise of a doorknob shock, or the way a balloon clings to a sweater. But Tesla saw more. He saw a hidden symphony, a web of energy woven into the fabric of the world, waiting to be understood. His experiments weren't just about harnessing power. They were a conversation with the invisible, an attempt to listen to what the universe was murmuring beneath the noise. And though his work often seemed like magic, it was really just patience and wonder. A reminder that even the simplest phenomenon, like the crackle of static on a dry winter day, hold mysteries worth unraveling, if only we take the time to look. 72. Tesla's contributions to early satellite technology might not immediately connect Nikola Tesla with early satellite technology, but his groundbreaking work in the late 19th and early 20th centuries quietly laid the foundation for the wireless communication systems that satellites rely on today. Picture Tesla as a visionary gardener, planting seeds of ideas that would only truly bloom decades later. His experiments with wireless transmission, like the famous Wardenclyffe Tower project, aimed to send messages and even power across vast distances without wires, a concept that feels eerily similar to how satellites beam signals across the globe. though his dream of a global wireless network wasn't fully realized in his lifetime. His insights into electromagnetic waves and resonant frequencies became essential blueprints for later innovations. Think of it like this. Tesla sketched the map, and others, decades later, built the roads. His ideas about harnessing the Earth's natural conductivity and creating stable communication channels were ahead of their time. Almost like a lighthouse guiding ships through the fog of technological uncertainty. So, while Tesla's name isn't etched onto every satellite orbiting Earth, his legacy hums quietly in the background, a steady current beneath the surface of modern communication. 73. Tesla's work on electromagnetic propulsion. You might imagine Tesla as a man who saw the world not just as it was, but as it could be, a visionary painting invisible currents across the canvas of the air. His work on electromagnetic propulsion wasn't just about harnessing electricity. It was about unlocking a future where energy flowed like a river, untethered and free. Think of it as trying to create a dance between unseen forces, where magnets and coils become partners in a silent symphony. What Tesla envisioned wasn't merely propulsion in the mechanical sense, but a way for humanity to glide forward, unburdened by the limitations of gears and pistons. He dreamed of a world where machines moved as effortlessly as leaves on a breeze, powered by the invisible threads of electromagnetism. It's as though he wasn't just building devices, but planting seeds of possibility, inviting us to imagine a quieter, smoother journey into the unknown. And while much of his work remains shrouded in mystery, what's clear is his unshakable belief in the elegance of nature's forces, a belief that still whispers to us today, urging us to reach for the stars with tools that hum rather than roar. 74. Tesla's theories on the interaction of matter and energy. Have probably wondered about the way the world works, how invisible forces seem to weave everything together like threads in a grand tapestry. Well, Tesla's theories on the interaction of matter and energy invite us to see the universe as a delicate dance, where everything is connected in ways we're only beginning to understand. Imagine matter and energy as two partners. Sometimes they twirl apart, and other times they hold hands tightly, exchanging roles effortlessly. Tesla saw energy as the lifeblood of the universe, flowing through matter the way a river flows through a landscape, shaping it, moving it, animating it. He didn't just think of energy as something we use. He believed it was the very essence of existence, a force that binds stars, atoms, and even our thoughts. His vision was one of harmony, where every vibration, every spark, every beam of light was part of a greater symphony. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? To realize that even in stillness, everything around us is alive with unseen energy, pulsing with possibility. Tesla's ideas remind us that the world is far more interconnected and wondrous than it seems, that understanding it begins with curiosity and an open heart. 75. Tesla's experiments with resonant circuits. You might imagine Tesla in his lab, late at night, bending over a strange device humming with invisible energy, like a gardener tending to a delicate electric flower. His experiments with resonant circuits were less about brute force and more about finding harmony for the precise frequency where electricity would sing back to him, as if the wires themselves were whispering secrets. He discovered that when a circuit vibrates at just the right pitch, energy builds effortlessly, like a child on a swing who only needs the gentlest push to soar higher. It wasn't just about power. It was about tuning into the hidden rhythms of the world, a dance between creation and resonance. Some say he could make the earth itself tremble with these vibrations, though he sought not destruction but understanding. way to weave energy into the air like threads of light. And in those quiet moments, when the circuit pulsed in perfect sync, it must have felt like holding a tiny piece of the universe's heartbeat, steady and alive in his hands. 7.6. Tesla's contributions to early nuclear physics. You might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla, the brilliant mind behind alternating current and countless other inventions, also cast a long shadow over the early days of nuclear physics. Though he never split the atom himself, his work with high-frequency currents and mysterious rays, like those eerie crackling discharges from his famous coils, paved the way for others to explore the hidden energy within matter. Imagine him as a gardener planting seeds in soil he couldn't fully see, trusting that someday others would nurture them into something extraordinary. His experiments with X-rays and radioactivity, though sometimes overshadowed by his more flashy inventions, hinted at the vast, untapped power lurking in the heart of atoms. Tesla sensed it like a distant hum just beyond hearing, and his writings often touched on the idea of unlocking energy from the very fabric of the universe. While figures like Rutherford and Curie took the spotlight in nuclear research, Tesla's intuitive grasp of energy's deeper layers quietly influenced the foundations of their work. His legacy here is subtle, like a faint fingerprint on the edge of a discovery, but it's there, reminding us that even the brightest minds sometimes light paths they never fully walk themselves. 77. Tesla's work on energy generation from cosmic rays. You might find yourself intrigued by Nikola Tesla's fascination with cosmic rays, those invisible threads of energy weaving through the fabric of the universe. He imagined them not as mere curiosities, but as potential sources of boundless power, like tapping into a vast, unseen river flowing endlessly through the cosmos. Tesla believed that these rays, originating from the depths of space, could be harnessed to provide energy for the world, a vision as poetic as it was ambitious. Picture him, late at night, sketching designs and dreaming of a future where humanity could draw strength from the stars themselves. His ideas were far ahead of their time, and while the technology of his era couldn't fully realize them, they planted seeds of inspiration that continue to sprout today. In a way, Tesla's work reminds us that the universe holds mysteries, waiting to be unlocked, not just for science, but for the betterment of all. It's a gentle reminder that even in our modern age, there's still so much to discover, like standing at the edge of an ocean, knowing there are currents beneath the surface we've yet to explore. His vision, though incomplete, whispers of possibility, inviting us to dream boldly and tread thoughtfully. 7.8. Tesla's theories on the relationship between electricity and magnetism. You might imagine electricity and magnetism as to long-time friends, always connected, but sometimes taking turns to lead the dance. Nikola Tesla saw this relationship as something deeply intertwined, like the roots of an ancient tree, each branch supporting the other in ways that aren't always obvious at first glance. He believed that electricity, that invisible force we rely on every day, was intimately tied to magnetism, an equally mysterious but equally powerful companion. Think of it like this: when electricity flows, it creates a magnetic field, as if it's whispering into the air around it. And when that magnetic field changes, it can, in turn, produce electricity, as if the whisper echoes back. Tesla saw this conversation between the two as a kind of endless loop, a cycle of energy that could be harnessed for incredible things. To him, this wasn't just science, it was a kind of poetry, a way of understanding how the universe works in harmony. And in his quiet moments of reflection, He must have felt awe at how these two forces, so simple in their essence, could hold the keys to powering the world. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound truths are hidden in the quiet conversations happening all around us. 7.9. Tesla's experiments with wireless power distribution. Might find it fascinating to imagine a world where electricity flows invisibly through the air, like whispers carried on the wind, lighting up our lives without the clutter of wires. This was the dream of Nikola Tesla, a man with a mind as vast and untamed as the storms he sought to harness. In the late 19th century, Tesla began experimenting with wireless power distribution, envisioning a future where energy could be transmitted freely across vast distances, much like how radio waves travel through the atmosphere. Imagine standing in a field, raising a light bulb into the air, and watching it glow without a single wire connecting it to anything. This was the kind of magic Tesla was chasing. His work with the Tesla coil, a device that could generate high-voltage electricity, was a step toward this vision, creating sparks that danced like miniature lightning bolts in his lab. Though his dream of a fully wireless world remains unrealized, Tesla's experiments planted seeds of possibility, reminding us that the boundaries of what we can achieve are often limited only by the scope of our imagination. His legacy invites us to wonder what other invisible threads might one day connect us. 80. Tesla's contributions to early artificial intelligence. You might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla's work laid some unseen groundwork for what we now call artificial intelligence, like seeds planted in soil long before the first sprout appears. Tesla was fascinated by the idea of machines that could think and act independently, envisioning a world where devices could learn and adapt without human intervention. His experiments with wireless communication and remote control, especially his famous demonstration of a radio-controlled boat in 1898, hinted at the possibility of machines making decisions based on external inputs, a cornerstone of modern AI. He imagined a future where machines could sense their environment, much like how a plant turns toward the sun without conscious thought. Though his concepts were far ahead of the technology of his time, Tesla's vision was like a blueprint sketched in the stars, waiting for later generations to follow its lines. His belief in the interconnectedness of systems, how everything could communicate and influence each other, echoes in today's AI networks, where data flows in intricate patterns to create intelligent responses. Tesla's legacy reminds us that innovation often begins as a quiet spark of imagination, one that lights the way for others to explore long after the originator is gone. 81. Tesla's work on energy conversion systems. You might imagine Tesla's work on energy conversion systems as a kind of alchemy, turning the invisible currents of the world into something bright and useful, like catching the wind in a net of wire. He saw energy not as a static thing, but as a living force, flowing and shifting, waiting to be gently guided into new forms. Picture a river diverted into channels, each bend and drop harnessed to spin a wheel, lighting a lamp or powering a machine, without waste or struggle. Tesla's genius lay in his ability to listen to the quiet hum of electricity, to understand its rhythms so deeply that he could coax it into harmony with human needs. His systems were like bridges between worlds, translating the raw pulse of nature into something orderly and safe, something that could warm a home or turn the gears of progress. And though his ideas sometimes seemed ahead of their time, there's a quiet beauty in how they remind us that energy isn't just about power. It's about connection, about finding ways to weave the unseen threads of the universe into the fabric of everyday life. 82. Tesla's theories on the nature of light. You might imagine Nikola Tesla pondering the nature of light as if it were a puzzle handed to him by the universe itself, a mystery both vast and intimate. To Tesla, light wasn't just something we see. It was a thread woven into the very fabric of existence, a bridge between the visible and the invisible. He saw it not as a static beam, but as a dynamic force, alive with energy, like whispers of electricity dancing through the air. His theories suggested that light carried secrets far beyond its brightness, holding clues to the deeper workings of energy and matter. Picture it as waves on a vast ocean, each ripple carrying information, connecting points across unimaginable distances. Tesla believed light could reveal truths about the cosmos, much like how a single beam of sunlight through a window can illuminate a room, making the unseen suddenly clear. He wasn't content with simply observing light. He wanted to understand its language, to decode its messages. And in doing so, he invited us to look at light not just as illumination, but as a storyteller, revealing the hidden symphonies of the universe we're all a part of. 83. Tesla's experiments with cathode rays. You might imagine Tesla in his dimly lit lab, surrounded by coils and wires, his curious mind drawn to the invisible forces of the world. He was fascinated by cathode ray isotopes, mysterious streams of energy that seemed to dance like fireflies in the dark. To him, they weren't just scientific phenomena. They were glimpses into the secrets of the universe, like whispers from a distant star. Tesla experimented with these rays, bending them to his will, studying their behavior as if trying to decode a language only nature could speak. He saw potential in their glow, a way to harness their energy for something greater, though the full scope of his vision remained just out of reach, like a shadow retreating with the dawn. His work was meticulous, driven by a quiet determination to uncover truths that others might overlook. Through his experiments, Tesla reminded us that the world is full of wonders waiting to be understood, even in the smallest flicker of light. And in his pursuit, he left a legacy that continues to inspire, a testament to the beauty of asking questions and the power of seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary. 84. Tesla's contributions to early holography might not know this, but long before holograms dazzled us with their ghostly, three-dimensional illusions, Nikola Tesla was quietly laying the groundwork for this mesmerizing technology. Imagine him like a painter sketching the faint outlines of a masterpiece long before the colors ever touched the canvas. In the early 1900s, while the world was still marveling at electric light, Tesla was already dreaming of capturing and projecting images in ways that seemed almost magical. He tinkered with high-frequency currents and strange, shimmering fields of energy, sensing that light could be bent and shaped into something far more profound than anyone had yet imagined. Though he never built a hologram himself, his experiments with wave patterns and interference, like ripples crossing in a pond, hinted at the principles that would later bring holography to life. It's as if he left behind a trail of breadcrumbs for future scientists to follow, each one a small revelation about how light and space could dance together. So when you see a hologram today, floating like a whisper of reality, remember that Tesla's quiet curiosity helped light the way. His vision, like so much of his work, was simply ahead of its time. 85. Tesla's work on energy transmission through the Earth's crust. You might have heard whispers of Nikola Tesla's experiments, those almost magical ideas that danced at the edges of possibility. One of his most intriguing visions was the idea of transmitting energy through the Earth itself, like planting a seed of electricity in the ground and watching it grow into light across the globe. He believed the Earth could act as a conductor, a vast, invisible wire humming with energy, connecting distant places as effortlessly as the roots of a tree connect the soil. It was a thought that felt both simple and enormous, like imagining rivers of electricity flowing beneath our feet, unseen but ever present. Tesla saw potential where others saw limits. He wanted to harness the Earth's natural rhythms, its stillness and its movement, to carry power to those who needed it. Though his dream never fully came to life, the idea itself is a quiet reminder of how much we share this world, how interconnected we are, and how even the ground beneath us holds untapped wonders. It's a thought that lingers like a soft echo, inviting us to look a little deeper and dream a little wider. 86 Tesla's theories on the behavior of electrons. You might wonder, as you sit here thinking about the mysteries of electricity, how someone like Nikola Tesla envisioned the dance of electrons, those tiny, invisible particles that power so much of our world. Picture them as fireflies, flickering in the darkness, each carrying a spark of energy that lights up the unseen pathways around us. Tesla saw them not as solitary beings, but as part of a grand, harmonious symphony, moving in perfect rhythm to create something far greater than themselves. He believed their behavior wasn't chaotic, but guided by unseen forces, much like how the wind shapes the dance of leaves in a forest. To him, understanding electrons wasn't just about equations or machines. It was about glimpsing the hidden order of the universe, a balance between creation and connection. Imagine holding a thread that ties everything together. Lightrons, light, even the thoughts flickering in your mind, and you'll feel the quiet awe Tesla must have felt when he pondered their secrets. It's a reminder that even the smallest things can hold immense power, and that curiosity, much like a steady flame, can illuminate even the darkest corners of the unknown. 87. Tesla's experiments with wireless energy transfer. You step into the world of Nikola Tesla, and it's like entering a realm where electricity dances invisibly through the air, untethered by wires. Tesla dreamed of a world where energy could be shared freely, like sunlight spreading across a meadow, and his experiments with wireless energy transfer were his attempt to make that vision real. Imagine standing in his laboratory, the air humming, with the invisible currents he conjured, lighting lamps and sparking devices without a single physical connection. It was as if he was weaving an unseen tapestry of power, trying to prove that electricity could flow through the ether like a stream, finding its way through a landscape. Though his grandest plans, like transmitting power across the globe, never fully materialized, Tesla's work planted seeds of possibility that still inspire us today. He showed us that energy doesn't have to be confined to cables, that it can move with a kind of grace and freedom we're only beginning to understand. It's a reminder, perhaps, that even the most audacious dreams have a way of shaping the future, even if they don't unfold exactly as imagined. 88. Tesla's contributions to early nanotechnology might not realize it, but when we talk about the early whispers of nanotechnology, Nikola Tesla's name quietly echoes in the background, like a forgotten melody that still lingers in the air. Though Tesla is often celebrated for his work with electricity and wireless communication, his visionary ideas also nudged the door open to the microscopic world we now explore. He spoke of manipulating matter on an unimaginably small scale, imagining particles as brushstrokes on a canvas, each one contributing to a larger picture. While he didn't have the tools or the language we use today, his intuition about the unseen was astonishing. He envisioned a future where we could control the very building blocks of nature, much like a skilled potter shaping clay with delicate precision. In his time, these ideas were dismissed as dreams, But now, as we peer into the realm of atoms and molecules, Tesla's foresight feels almost prophetic. It's as if he was standing on the edge of a vast ocean, pointing to the horizon, and we've only just begun to sail toward it. His legacy reminds us that even the most audacious ideas can plant seeds for discoveries that bloom centuries later. So, in those quiet moments of thought, it's worth pondering how one man's imagination could stretch so effortlessly into the future. 8-9. Tesla's work on energy storage in the ionosphere. You might find yourself staring up at the night sky, wondering about the vast energy that seems to hum just beyond our reach. This is where Nikola Tesla's vision for energy storage in the ionosphere comes into play. A dream so grand it feels like trying to capture lightning in a jar. Tesla saw the ionosphere, that shimmering layer of charged particles high above the Earth, not as a distant mystery, but as a colossal battery waiting to be tapped. He imagined harnessing this energy to power the world, much like drawing water from an endless, invisible reservoir. His experiments were daring, a blend of science and poetry, as he sought to bridge the gap between the heavens and our everyday lives. Though his ideas were never fully realized, they linger like whispers on the wind, reminding us that the boundaries of possibility are often wider than we think. Tesla's work invites us to dream bigger, to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be, a place where even the sky holds solutions, quietly waiting for us to reach just a little further. 90. Tesla's theories on the propagation of electromagnetic waves. You might wonder, as you consider the whispers of electricity and the unseen waves that carry light and sound through the air, how Nikola Tesla envisioned these mysteries of the universe. Picture him standing in his laboratory, a man who saw the world not just as it was, but as it could be, a canvas waiting for his brushstrokes of invention. Tesla believed that electromagnetic waves, those ripples of energy traveling through space, were not confined to the rigid paths scientists of his time imagined. Instead, he saw them as fluid, almost alive, like the way a breeze moves through tall grass, bending and swaying in ways both predictable and surprising. He proposed that these waves could travel through the Earth itself, not just the air, suggesting a vision of connectivity far beyond the limits of wires and cables. To Tesla, the Earth was not just a silent rock, but a conductor, a partner in the dance of energy. His theories, though not fully embraced in his lifetime, hinted at a harmony between nature and technology, a reminder that the unseen forces around us are more intertwined with our lives than we might realize. It's a thought that invites curiosity, doesn't it? To see the world not as separate pieces, but as a symphony of energy, always in motion, always waiting to be understood. 9-1. Tesla's experiments with high-frequency alternators. Might wonder what it felt like for Tesla to stand on the edge of discovery, working with high-frequency alternators, those humming, intricate machines that seemed to dance with electricity. Picture him in his lab, surrounded by coils and wires, like a conductor orchestrating an invisible symphony. He wasn't just building machines, he was exploring the very pulse of energy, seeking to understand how it could be shaped and harnessed. These alternators, spinning faster than the eye could follow, allowed Tesla to glimpse a world where electricity could do more than power lights or motors. It could create phenomena that felt almost magical, like the eerie glow of corona discharge or the silent transfer of energy through the air. Think of it as weaving threads of light and power, crafting something that was both practical and wondrous. His experiments weren't just about pushing boundaries, they were about revealing possibilities, showing us that the world is filled with unseen currents waiting to be tapped. In those quiet moments of discovery, Tesla wasn't just an inventor, he was a dreamer, gently opening doors to a future we're still stepping into today. 92. Tesla's contributions to early superconductivity research. You might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla's curiosity about electricity opened doors to ideas that would later shape our understanding of superconductivity. Long before the term superconductivity was even coined, Tesla was experimenting with currents, magnetic fields, and materials, trying to see how far he could push the boundaries of what electricity could do. Imagine him as a painter, sketching out rough outlines of a masterpiece that others would later fill in with color. Tesla was fascinated by how electricity could flow with almost no resistance in certain conditions, a concept that lies at the heart of superconductivity. He didn't have the tools or the language to fully explain it, but his work hinted at the possibility that energy could move through materials in ways that defied the ordinary rules of physics. Think of it like discovering a hidden path in a forest. Tesla didn't walk it all the way, but he pointed others in the right direction. His experiments with high-frequency currents and magnetic fields laid the groundwork for later scientists to explore how materials could conduct electricity perfectly without losing any energy. It's a reminder that even the smallest sparks of curiosity can light the way for future breakthroughs. 93. Tesla's work on energy generation from geothermal sources. You might find it intriguing how Tesla, the company we often associate with sleek electric cars, has quietly been exploring a path that feels almost poetic, tapping into the Earth's own heartbeat for energy. Think of geothermal energy as the planet's steady, simmering warmth, a resource that's been there all along, waiting to be harnessed. Tesla's work in this area feels like a natural extension of their mission to create a sustainable future, as if they're reaching beyond the sun and wind to find another ally in nature. It's not just about generating energy, it's about connecting with something ancient and enduring, like listening to a story the Earth has been telling for billions of years. They're not just drilling into the ground, they're opening a door to a deeper understanding of how we can coexist with our environment. And in a way, it's comforting to think that the same forces that shaped mountains and carved valleys could one day power our homes, quietly and consistently. It's a reminder that innovation doesn't always have to be flashy. Sometimes it's about finding harmony with what's already here, steady and unyielding. 94. Tesla's theories on the interaction of electromagnetic fields. You might imagine electromagnetic fields as invisible rivers of energy, flowing and intertwining around us in ways we can't see but can sometimes feel, like the hum of a power line or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Tesla saw these fields not as static forces, but as living, dynamic interactions, where energy could be harnessed, guided, and even amplified, much like a gardener tending to vines, encouraging them to grow in harmony. He believed that if we could understand their rhythms, how they ripple, converge, and resonate, we could unlock ways to transmit power without wires, lighting up the world as effortlessly as lightning illuminates the sky. To him, it wasn't just about electricity. It was about connection, a hidden symphony playing just beneath the surface of everyday life. And while some of his ideas seemed fantastical, they were rooted in a deep intuition about the natural world, an intuition that still whispers to us today, inviting us to listen a little closer, to wonder what else might be possible if we dare to see the unseen. 95. Tesla's experiments with wireless telephony. You might imagine Nikola Tesla in his lab, a solitary figure surrounded by the hum of unseen energies, as he reached beyond the limits of what most believed possible. His experiments with wireless telephony weren't just about sending voices through the air. They were about weaving an invisible tapestry of connection, a dream where distance would no longer silence human voices. Picture him adjusting strange coils and delicate instruments, like a gardener tending to unseen seeds, trusting they would one day grow into something extraordinary. He saw a world where communication flowed as effortlessly as light, unbound by wires or borders, and though his vision outpaced the technology of his time, the echoes of his work still resonate in the devices we hold today. There's something quietly beautiful in that, how one man's relentless curiosity planted ideas that would later bloom in ways he could only glimpse. It reminds us that even the grandest innovations begin as fragile sparks, nurtured by patience and belief. And perhaps, in moments like these, we can still hear the whisper of his ambition, a gentle call to imagine beyond what's already been done. 96. Tesla's contributions to early quantum computing. You might not realize it, but Nikola Tesla's work quietly laid some of the earliest stepping stones for what would later become quantum computing. Picture him in his lab, surrounded by crackling sparks and humming coils, chasing ideas that seemed to dance just beyond the edge of understanding. While he never directly worked on quantum theory, his experiments with alternating currents and high-frequency waves hinted at a world where energy didn't behave as expected, a world that quantum mechanics would later map out in detail. Think of it like a gardener planting seeds without knowing exactly what flowers would bloom. Tesla's explorations into electromagnetic resonance and wireless transmission nudged science toward questions about how particles interact at their most fundamental level. His intuitive grasp of invisible forces, much like sensing the wind before seeing the trees sway, created a foundation others would build upon. Though he couldn't have foreseen quantum computers, his willingness to embrace the mysterious, to tinker with the unseen, made him an unwitting guide into a future where information itself could exist in multiple states at once. It's a gentle reminder that progress often begins with curiosity, not certainty.